Well, I told the team before the game, we have to play a great game to come in here and at the Dean Dome and play against a Carolina team that had only lost one time at home, and that was by 1 point. They're very big. Baycoat's a monster inside. Their guards can shoot the ball from as far out as they choose to. But I thought we did a great job. We hung in there after Norshad Omir got in foul trouble in the first half, took a 1 point lead to the locker room at halftime, and then quickly came out and really took control of the first 10 minutes of the second half, kept it for the next 5 minutes, and then we made some mistakes that I think if we had to do it all over again, our guys would make different decisions. But all in all, we made our free throws, we broke the press, and that's what allowed us to come away with a very hard-fought road victory.
Questions for Coach Al or Jordan?
Jim, you were able to, coming out of halftime, the adjustments you made against their ball screens, you were kind of able to turn them into a jump shooting team and keep them on the perimeter. Was that something you guys talked about at halftime, or is that just sort of the way that it went in the second half?
Yeah, they had 26 points in the paint in the first half, and we said we can't keep allowing a team that's as good at shooting twos. They were making layups on us. We had to take that away. The guys did a great job of doing that. And again, when you fall behind, oftentimes that leads to teams looking for threes. And so we defended well enough. Even the three-point shot in the first half, I don't think they had very many. For the game, they ended up 5 for 31, which is probably quite a few more than they average. They don't shoot 31 threes very often, but based on the way we were playing and packing it in the paint, I think that made the decision to shoot more threes.
What did you think about the way you guys sort of contested the threes? Like some of that was forcing them into it, but also
one of the things I liked is we didn't foul a three-point shooter, did we? I don't think we fouled one three-point shooter because sometimes we get overzealous trying to block shots. But you see, we ended up 40-32 on the backboards. That's a clear sign for us that we're in great shape. Now, the 13 turnovers, not so good, especially when we only forced 9. Some of that is due to Carolina's pressure, but many of those, I think, were just, bad decisions by us. But what I really do like is we were 22 for 26 from the foul line, and we had Nigel Pack and Jordan Miller both in the 20s. Jordan with 24 points and 11 rebounds. The guy is great. And Nigel Pack with 23. I've said this over and over again. I think he's the most underrated. Jordan is the most underrated player in the country because the amount of things he does well on the court makes him a very hard matchup for anybody.
Jordan, I think you did this move about 4 different times. The up and under kind of spin back. I mean, I don't know if that was something you always work on as much, or is that something that the way they defended you just kind of kept letting it happen? Kind of walk me through how you kept going to the same move over and over.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something I practice, but it's also what the defense gives me. I just like getting in the paint and taking my time, seeing what's there, whether it's score, assist, whatever it is. And I love to pump fake. I do, I really do. So, it was falling for me tonight. But like Coach said, I think it was a good road win and a good statement win that, we can not only win at home, but we can win on the road too.
Jordan, I mean, you guys obviously had a long run in the NCAA tournament last year. You came into the season, it seemed like people were talking more about Carolina and other teams. You guys have won 21 games now, 12 in the ACC. And do you feel like you guys are still being overlooked a little bit?
Honestly, I don't think any of us are really worried about that. At this point, we're just trying to win basketball games, one game at a time. You mentioned the NCAA tournament. That's still fuel to our fire. But when we get there, we'll worry about that when we get there. Right now, we're just looking to improve. Tonight, we had, like Coach said, some turnovers that weren't really us. So look to finish games a little bit better. Obviously, defense is always important, but we're in a good spot right now. But there's still a lot of room for improvement.
There's one stat I like a lot. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it was true on the weekend. Now teams have won or lost, but in the last 35 games,
Now it's 37.
Now, in the last 37 games, if you look at all the best records of teams in the ACC, in ACC competition, we've got the best record of any team in the league in the last 37 games. We're 27-10, and that's the best record over the last, 2 years plus. That's pretty incredible to me, knowing how good this league has been forever. Now, you can go back 50 years, and the league was great. 40 years, the league was great. And it's always disappointing to me when I read that our league is not as good as some of the others in the country, because I definitely don't believe that, and nobody's proven that to me yet.
Any more questions for Jordan or Coach O? All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.